Okay, the first thing we're going to do is brush the floor. I have finished sweeping the entire pool. I'm going to do the next step, which is to go into the pool house and backwash and rinse the water. I know this looks like a mess. My husband has rebuilt this entire pool house from ground up and added a better foundation. So we're having to deal with all of these stone pavers and everything. We're taking them up and starting over. So over the next few months, we're going to be dealing with that when the weather cools off a little bit. So here we are inside the pool house. You can see the studs and everything, and all the joists have been either replaced or made more sturdy. The next thing we need to do inside here is to run all the new electrical wiring, and that's my job. So like I said, when the weather cools off, I will be doing that. So we're going over here to the pool pump. We have a sand filter, and I have, when I backwash on this area right here, there'll be maybe a half a cup of water that comes in. I don't want it coming out everywhere, so I put this tube and it goes into the bucket. So the first thing we do when you're backwashing is to open up the electrical panel. So very quickly, I'm going to turn the circuit breaker off, and then I'm going to pull up the main and the skimmer pipes and shut them. And then I'm going to move this from filter to backwash right here. So I'm going to do this very fast, because the faster I do it, the less water I'll lose in the filter. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Put this to backwash, and then I'm going to turn the circuit back on. And then I need to open up the main pipe, and then outside, I always know it's working because I come out here and I can hear the water running through the pipe. And we have piping that goes all the way through the yard, clear to the front of the house, and it goes out into the curb and drains into the drain that they have out there. So we're going to backwash for about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, the backwashing has been going on for a sufficient amount of time, so now I'm going to shut the circuit breaker off. Then I'm going to move the main handle back up, and then I'm going to move this handle very quickly to the rinse right here, and then open up the main valve again, and it will rinse out for a couple minutes. So again, I'm going to do this very fast. Okay, I am done with the backwashing and rinsing. And while I'm in there, usually I also clean out the filter where the water is circulating. And I could tell just by looking through the cover that there was not much of anything in there, so I'm not worried about it. So the next thing we're going to do is make sure that there's not a lot of debris in the skimmers, especially this one right here is usually full. So I have learned from experience to put this glove on because you never know what you're going to find in here. So this doesn't really look too bad. There's not a lot of leaves or anything, but usually I find some frogs or some dead moles. We have lots of moles in our yard the last couple of years. I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to come over here and empty this in the yard. I used to be very meticulous to make sure every little bitty thing was out of these baskets. It's really not worth it. So I'll put this back in here, make sure it's all the way down. Put the lid back on. I'm going to go to the other skimmer down here. I need to buy a new cover. This one's got about the same amount of stuff. Lots of bugs. All right, I'm going to empty this one out. It's not bad at all. Like I said, I don't worry about perfection anymore. Okay, so I have to get this glove off because it's full of water. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is put 3 chlorine tabs in each of the floating containers in the pool and 3 in this skimmer right here. So just put them in there. Okay. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is put 2 gallons of liquid chlorine in the water. And I usually just let them sit here like this. And I put it where the return of the water coming into the pool is. And come over here and put the other one. Just let them do their thing. While that's happening, I'm going to take my algicide, and I love this stuff. It really works. So I filled up the bucket about halfway, and I'm going to put 4 ounces of this algicide inside the bucket before I pour it into the pool. 4 ounces is a prevention amount. When we open the pool, I put double that. It doesn't have to be exactly. I've done it enough times, I know how much to put in here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the bucket over here. When I pour this in, the water will turn blue just for a while. Okay. All right. And I get the rest of the liquid chlorine into the water. That algicide plus these 2 gallons of liquid chlorine and the tabs are the only chemicals I put in the pool. And you can see the pool's very clear. Well, now that all of the chemicals are in the pool and everything's been cleaned out, I took the vacuum out and put the skimmer